Okay, we're back. Welcome back. I'm here again. Like you love the consistency this time. We're gonna be coming into June. And you know what happens during June? It's Father's Day. So big up to all my fathers. Kudos to you guys and everything that you do for your family. Um, but at the end of the day, there's I think that this month is really significant because a lot of men are alone, and it's something that might make some people uncomfortable. This topic, the male loneliness epidemic, is it's not really about women. I know that I know that's where the internet likes to take it. Every time men talk about being lonely, the conversation somehow turns into dating. Who's choosing who has standards, who's swiping left, who's too picky, who's delusional, who's 5'7" and still thinks he deserves love. Well, the comment section becomes a war zone. But I don't think that the deepest loneliness men are experiencing can be solved by a girlfriend, a wife, a situationship, or someone texting, "You ate?" at 10:42 p.m. So don't get me wrong, that text can hit different when you're hungry and emotionally unstable. But male loneliness is bigger than romance. It's about men not having spaces that they can be fully human, not useful, not strong, not funny, not successful, not the provider, not the fixer, human. And that is where a lot of men are starving. A lot of men have people around them, but no one really knows them. They have group chats, but no support system. They have drinking buddies, but no brothers. They have coworkers, but no confidants. They have people who will watch a game with them, but nobody they can call at midnight and say, "Bro, I don't think I'm okay." And that's a different kind of loneliness. That is being surrounded and still unseen. And men are experts at hiding in plain sight. Let me tell you, we know how to make people laugh while we are breaking down. We know how to show up to work while we haven't slept. We know how to say, "I'm good, bro," with a straight face, and inside we feel like we're one inconvenience away from falling apart. We know how to keep moving because stopping feels dangerous. We know if we stop, we might feel everything. And a lot of men do not know what to do with everything. That's why this topic matters. Because a lonely man is not always a man with no people around him. Sometimes a lonely man is a man who has never been given permission to tell the truth. And that starts real early. So think about how boys are raised, right? A little boy falls down and cries. What do we say? You know it. Get up. You're okay. That same little boy is scared. What do we say? Don't be soft. He expresses hurt. What do we say? Man up. Now, I understand resilience and I believe in resilience. Life is not easy, and boys do need to learn how to be strong. But strength without emotional language, it becomes silence. And silence eventually becomes isolation. So by the time that boy becomes a man, he may not know how to make he may know how to make money, change a tire, survive pressure, protect people and carry responsibility, but he may not know how to say, "I feel abandoned." He may not know how to say, "I'm grieving. I'm jealous because I feel insecure. I'm angry because I'm scared." And instead, what does he do? He shuts down, or he drinks, or he works too much, or he scrolls all night, he chases women, or he isolates, or he becomes the funny guy. And let me tell you something about the funny guy. Check on him. You see, the funny guy is often carrying more than you think. He just learned how to turn pain into entertainment, so no one asks too many questions. So now where do women come into this, right? Women matter, of course. Relationships matter. Love matters. But here's where men get in trouble. Some men try to make one woman, the entire emotional ecosystem. The girlfriend becomes a therapist, the mother, best friend, motivational coach, crisis manager, spiritual advisor, emotional translator, and sometimes unpaid life coach with no benefits package. And that's too much weight to put on one person. You see, a woman can love you deeply and still not be designed to carry every unresolved wound that you have never processed with another man. A counselor, a mentor, God, or yourself. You see, that's not a partnership. That's emotional outsourcing. And a lot of men are guilty of it because they do not know where else to go. They don't have a brotherhood. They don't have elders that they trust. They don't have communities where men can be honest without being laughed at. They don't have language for pain, so they hand the pain over to whoever gets closest to them romantically. Then, when she gets overwhelmed, he feels rejected. But sometimes she's not rejecting you. She's suffocating under the emotional weight you never learned how to distribute. And that's just the hard truth. And on the other side, women have to understand this too. Some men are not withholding because they do not care. Some men generally don't know how to open the box without everything falling out. You see, they're not always hiding secrets. Sometimes they're hiding sadness, and sometimes they're hiding shame. They're hiding fear. They're hiding the fact that they don't know how to feel like enough. And for a man, not feeling like enough, that could be devastating because men are often valued by output. What do you do? How much do you make? What do you drive? Can you provide? Can you protect? Can you lead? Can you fix it? Can you handle it? And when a man feels like he can't handle it, he often feels like he's lost his worth. And nobody has to tell him directly. Society has already whispered it into his ears for years. So he suffers quietly. And quiet suffering becomes dangerous because pain needs somewhere to go. And if it doesn't come out as words, it comes out as anger. It comes out as distance. It comes out as addiction, control. It comes out as cheating. It comes out as self sabotage, depression. It comes out as a man sitting in his car outside his house for 20 minutes before because he needs a moment before walking into another room where everybody needs something from him. And some men know exactly what I'm talking about. The car has become a sanctuary. Not because you don't love your family, don't get it twisted. Not because you don't want to go inside, but because for those few minutes, nobody needs you. Nobody needs anything. So you just sit there, engine off, phone in hand, staring into the distance like you're in a music video no one asks for. But the silence, it's real. And we need to talk about it. So then what do we do? First, men have to rebuild a brotherhood. And I don't mean just hanging out, because we do that. Brotherhood is not just watching sports and talking nonsense. That has its place. And I love nonsense. Sometimes nonsense is necessary. Sometimes you need a group chat so unserious, it reminds you life is not all bills and trauma. But brotherhood has to go deeper than jokes. It has to include accountability. It has to include honesty. It has to include, bro, you don't sound like yourself. It has to include, I know you said you're good, but I'm pulling up anyway. It has to include men learning how to ask each other better questions, not just, you straight? Because we all know the answer and what it's going to be. Yeah, I'm good. Ask, what's been heavy on you lately? What are you not saying out loud? Where do you feel like you're failing? How are you handling being a father right now? Ask, when was the last time you felt peace? You see, those kinds of questions opens doors. Secondly, men have to stop treating vulnerability like it's a weakness. Vulnerability is not crying on the internet every Tuesday for engagement. Vulnerability is truth. It's the courage to be known. And some of us are not lonely because nobody loves us. We're lonely because nobody knows us. You see, there's a huge difference there. You see, being loved for the version of you that performs strength is not the same as being known in your weakness. And third, men need purpose beyond performance. If your whole life and identity is work, money, relationship, status, and how other people see you, loneliness will always find you when those things shake. You need something deeper. Guess what it is? Top of the list: faith, community, service, creative expression, brotherhood, ultimately, a mission. Something that reminds you that you're not just what you produce. Because when a man loses purpose, he becomes vulnerable to anything that offers temporary escape. And finally, we need to create more rooms where men can tell the truth without being turned into villains, jokes, or projects. And that's part of why the strip club exists. Because men need a place to strip away the performance, not to avoid accountability, not to blame women, not to sit around and complain, but to be honest, to grow, to unpack, to say things we usually bury. Because a man who cannot speak his pain will eventually act it out. And when pain gets acted out, everybody gets hurt. So, no, the male loneliness epidemic is not just about women. It's about fathers who never learned how to talk to sons. It's about boys who were told to toughen up before they were taught to understand themselves. It's about men who lost their friendships after marriage, divorce, career pressure, fatherhood, or shame. It's about men who are surrounded by the unseen. It's about the absence of safe brotherhood. And it's about men learning that needing people doesn't make you less of a man. It makes you human. So check on your boys, check on your brothers. Not with surface level questions. Really check on them. And men, don't wait until you're breaking to tell somebody that you're carrying too much. You're allowed to need support before everything falls apart. You're allowed to be strong and still need somewhere to lay the weight down. You're allowed to be a man and admit you're lonely. That admission may be the first step back to yourself. And as always, my brothers, stay stripped.